Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lunch table. My name's Evan. Today I'm joined with Zach, Joel, and Nick. Today we're going to be talking about our Week 9 recap, Week 10 predictions. As usual, every week we do this. But before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at lunchtable.take. So without further ado, we'll get into this past week's slate of games. First off, starting with the Thursday night game, Steelers versus Titans. The Steelers ended up winning 20-16 in the most Steelers fashion. Who wants to start us off with this very boring blockbuster?
George Pickens once out.
The Steelers should be banned from the NFL.
Dude, I'm just going to say it right now. What else do you expect from the Steelers? They're above 500 every season, Zach.
It's just stupid. This is not a good football team. This team should not be winning games.
The offense isn't good.
The offense is still bad. The defense is lights out. I
think the defense is good, but everything else is terrible. This is a bad team. They should not be winning games.
When you have a front four with Larry O, you got Cam Hayward back, you got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. That's a force to be reckoned with. They built it in the trenches.
I just think this is a bad team. From all together, I just think this is a bad team. I don't think this team should be winning games.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call them a bad team. I still don't think they're a playoff team.
They are absolutely not a playoff team. This is not even a 9-8 football team.
No, they'll win 9 games.
Oh, I know they will, but this is not a 9-8 team. This is like a 7-10 team. Yeah. This is not – I don't think the Steelers are a good football team, and it enrages me that they win every single week.
I think the big key I mean, yeah, it's frustrating, but we keep talking about it. Mike Tomlin is capable of taking anything and giving it a 500 or above record.
I don't get how.
He is. It's just plain and simple to say he's one of the best coaches in the league.
He's a great head coach.
He's a great head coach.
The Steelers have the talent of like a 6 or 7 win team that gets bumped up to a 9 or 10 win team because of coaching, at least at the head coaching level.
Yeah, I have to preface that.
Yeah,
it's so stupid, dude.
It was good to see Deontay Johnson finally coming into the swing of things. I think that's going to be a huge piece for them going forward.
Yeah,
Najee's got a fire under his butt right now. That's cool to see.
Well, Jaylen Warren had a good game too. He had 88 rushing yards.
He did, and that's why I think it's like starting to put that fire under him. Like, oh shoot, undrafted player in Jaylen Warren is kicking my tail. And, I mean, both of them, I think, honestly, with the rush defense that we come to know Tennessee as, for them to put up the production on the ground that they did, getting back to their roots of trying to run the ball, I think it worked very well. I mean, Warren having a game, Najee getting in the red zone again. I think it's just when they put the ball not in Kenny Pickett's hands, they're doing pretty solid.
Yeah, I think they're going to start leaning more on their run game because I think I think Jaylen Warren is good and Najee Harris. I don't think Najee Harris is that great, but he can definitely do a lot worse. But, I mean, the Steelers are a grinded-out football team. Like, it's not the flashiest or most impressive thing in the world, but the bottom line is they're 5-3 and currently the 6th seed in the AFC. I still am hesitant to say that they're a playoff team just because the offense is so inconsistent. And I don't know.
It's terrible.
This was one of their better showings of the season, actually, which says a lot.
20 points.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they moved the ball up and down the field on a semi-consistent basis.
I thought they should have lost this game. I don't think they should have won.
They didn't do anything that terrible.
But let me tell you this. Who's closing the game? In that case, it was Will Levis closing the game as a rookie in his second start. against the
And he should have
defense.
did it, honestly. They had the opportunity to win that game.
And then he threw a pick. So, I mean, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
But
the Steelers
I mean,
should not have won that game. They should not be winning football games.
we can say that about all 5 of their wins this year. So
Yeah.
it's at this point you just got to live with it. They're 5-3. They're in the hunt. I think there's a good chance that they make it into the playoffs. So
They're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right
What,
now.
you think all 4 teams in the division?
I
are
can
gonna
see it.
Absolutely. I
Oh,
think absolutely they could all make it.
Yeah.
You realize that like the Bengals still play them twice. So if the Bengals pull out both of those wins, that's going to probably
Yeah.
knock the Steelers
Yeah,
out.
they're not going to.
I think
They
will.
never sweep the Steelers.
They just
Never.
did 2 years ago.
Okay, name the last time before that. Mike Tomlin will not let them sweep them.
He just did 2 years ago.
But you look at their schedule, and I mean they've got games against the Packers, Cardinals, Patriots, and Colts. There's probably
there's 4 games you can
wins.
win right there.
Yeah, those are
And
those
that
are
puts you at
4.
9 wins.
Yeah, they're at 9 wins right then and there. And then all they got to do is like steal a game against Cincinnati, and they're at 10 wins, and they're probably a playoff team.
Or
If they
even
won all
Baltimore.
the games. Yeah,
Just go hypothetically that Zach gets his wish that the Bengals beat the Steelers twice.
yeah.
You can get one against the Browns. They've only played the Browns once, right?
Yeah, they play their other 3 games are at Cleveland, at Seattle, and at Baltimore. I don't think they win any of those games, if I'm being fully transparent.
Yeah,
It
those were-
seems like they always play Baltimore close, though.
Yeah, they play. The thing with Pittsburgh is they always play down to their competition, but they always play up to it as well. Like, it doesn't make any sense with them.
But then they have games against like the Patriots, Cardinals, and Colts
Yeah.
before that. So those are all winnable games.
Evan, what's your opinion
I
on the
can't
matter?
stand this team.
I think there's definitely a shot that the Steelers sneak into the playoffs, but I don't think. I think if they do, I think they're gonna get smoked whoever they play. But
So-
my big takeaway from this game was just how awful Kenny Pickett is. Like I know we rat on like Matt Canada and stuff, but Kenny Pickett was just missing wide open throws. And so at some point, some of the blame has to go on the quarterback, and we have to have the talk. Like, is he actually like a viable quarterback or not? Because the only thing that I've seen from him that I'm like, okay, that's promising is his like 4th quarter, like game winning drives. Other than
Yeah.
that, I haven't seen anything that I'm like, oh, this guy is like a starter for them for the next couple of years. Like, there's plays that he should definitely make that he doesn't. And like in this game specifically, in the first half, there was 4 or 5 times where guys were wide open and just overthrew him or underthrew him. And so I think obviously their offense is bad, but I think like you all said, I think if they should, for them, they're at their best when they rely more on the running game than rely on Kenny Pickett.
One more thing I'd like to add. If you're George Pickens, how do you not get that second foot in?
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get
Yeah,
that.
that was rough. I don't know how he didn't drag that second foot at the NFL level. He's not a rookie either anymore, so it's like you gotta be more like situationally aware.
I know we're very we have no right playing in the NFL,
No shot.
but still,
He had a good
I'm
couple
sure it's a lot harder.
He had a
but
good couple of yards to
Yeah,
get.
I know
his foot
that's
out.
what I'm trying to say. Like, ugh.
He should have had that.
Now he wants out.
Yeah.
Free me.
Yeah, he did say that. I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't think it's that.
Things are in shambles.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But yeah, I think overall, Will Levis actually surprised me a little bit. I was a little intrigued by what he's been capable of doing his past 2 outings. So
They're starting him from here on out.
Which I think is the right move.
I do think
I
that's
do.
the right move.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean he went 22 for 39 with 262, and I mean he had a garbage time touchdown. So I mean he did pretty well, like at least managing the game. Obviously he didn't do what he
he had a
did.
garbage time pick that sealed the game.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't do as well as he did his first game, obviously. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold that against him too much just because you had to get the ball in the end zone. There was like 20 seconds left, so
Yeah.
you kind of had to force it. But
Props to him for
Yeah, he looks better than I thought he would. That's for sure.
dude. If Derrick Henry goes down though, Tajay Spears is going to be a freak.
Oh yeah.
Tajay
Or
Spears.
just when Derrick Henry leaves.
Yeah, but
Happened to.
Yeah.
We'll see.
we will indeed.
All right, moving on to a more intriguing game. We had the first Germany game of the year between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins. This was one that last week we talked about. We circled on the calendars. And the Chiefs ended up winning 21-14, but the score doesn't really show really how this game went. The Chiefs were up 21-0 at halftime, and then the Dolphins they had 14 in the third, but Chiefs team, big win for them against the Dolphins team that had been stringing up some pretty impressive wins.
I think it's just going to show the point that I personally have made a couple times on this podcast at how great this Kansas City defense is. I think, and I'm going to illustrate this point again. This is the best Kansas City defense I've seen under the Patrick Mahomes regime.
Yeah, it's not even close.
It's not even close.
Yeah, they
This
have
is
like
the
a
best
top
team
5 defense in the league right now.
This is the best team they've had. This is better than when they even had Tyreek Hill.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I
I
would say they're the most complete team that they've had.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They still need to figure something out with the wide receiver, and I think Rashee Rice is starting to get there, bits and pieces towards. But I don't think this defense was near as good. I think this is the best team. Tyreek Hill.
I think this is the best defense that he's had, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Glad
if
we're in
you're
agreement.
like, my thing is like the Dolphins though, they were inside the Chiefs 40-yard line, had a chance to tie or win the game, and it was a bad snap on fourth. Like that's really how you're gonna lose the game. You can't have that.
Yeah.
crap.
What about
they
Tua's
chose that.
Tua having Cedric Wilson wide open?
Yeah, I think that was more of a fumble than the bad snap more than
Yeah.
anything. Tua had
They
Cedric
both
Wilson.
are. You can't
Yeah,
have
they're
that
both
against
bad.
the Chiefs.
But
You can't
Tua
have
had Cedric Wilson wide open on a wheel route, and he underthrew him by about 15 yards.
Yeah.
It was so underthrown, the DB didn't even try to make a play on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if his arm got hit or if it got tipped or something. I don't think it did. I think he just horrifically underthrew it, or if it was a miscommunication or something.
That's the type of crap that you can't have playing against the
Yeah.
Chiefs. The Dolphins had every chance to win this game.
Yeah.
But they just you can't make mistakes like that when you're playing a good team like the Chiefs,
Yeah. This is what I want to. The biggest takeaway for me in this game, I think it's the biggest takeaway from a lot of people. The narrative's been floating around really since Sunday morning. The Dolphins are still looking for that statement win against a really good team. They're doing what good teams do, and that's beating lesser competition and beating them pretty soundly. But I don't know if they're quite ready to take that next step and become true AFC and Super Bowl contenders.
I don't think they are. They haven't beat a team with a winning record yet. They lost. Well, see, the thing is that in all of those games, they've been really close, the Eagles, they were close. The Chiefs, they were close. They had their chances to win all these games. It's just they didn't capitalize.
Yeah, this was their best showing against a good team this season. They're getting there, and I'm looking at their schedule at the end of the year. They've got the Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills to end the season, so they're going to have more opportunities.
Yeah, they're just going to have to take advantage of those. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you're playing a good team and it's you have your chances to win, but you don't capitalize on them. I don't know. Does that mean that you just don't have guys that are used to winning? But I don't know if that's the case either because they have Tyreek Hill in there. I don't know. It's just when you're playing good teams like that and you have every chance to win, but you can't capitalize on any of them. You're close, but you got to get over the hump,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To your point, Nick, just a little bit of stats against winning teams. The Dolphins this season are 0-3, averaging 17 points per game and 310 yards per game. And against losing teams, are 6-0, averaging 39 points per game and 500 yards per game. So that's obviously kind of shows, basically just says what you said, is they don't have that big win yet, but they're doing what good teams should do and beating up on the bad teams, but they haven't gotten that signature win yet to be like, all right, these guys are actually like legit playoff contenders. So
they're like a
with
halfway
that schedule, they're going to have to start winning some of those games against actually good teams.
They're like a halfway contender. Like they're better than like the bad and mediocre teams, but they aren't yet to the level of like the actual contenders.
Yeah. I do think that if they get that one statement win towards the end of the year, that might catapult them into a deep playoff run. Because I think once they get that confidence that they can beat like a Dallas or a Buffalo or a Baltimore, then they can kind of take the league by storm. I don't know if that'll happen, but I think that expectation is fully on the table. On the
I was just
Kansas
gonna
City
say, I
side
think
of
that
things-
crap.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Weaver. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna go off of your point there. Like I was just gonna say, I think that the only reason that won't happen is because, like, just of how good the AFC is. Like, yeah, they'll steal one against the Ravens, but you get in the playoffs and you play the Bengals right after that. Like, I mean, you're really gonna beat both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can steal one, but I just don't know if it's gonna.
Yeah, they can beat the Bills in the last week of the season to take the division, and then you got like, I don't know, like it might actually be Cincinnati coming to Miami because I think the Ravens are still going to win that division.
Yeah,
but I mean, Cincinnati is like obviously no slouch of a wild card team at all.
Yeah, and if that is how that plays out, like even if I like setting my bias aside, I still wouldn't pick the Dolphins to win that game. You know.
Yeah. One thing that's good for the Dolphins is they're starting to get healthy now. Devon Achane's going to come back here in a week or two, they said. Jalen Ramsey's been back for, I think, 2 games now. And so they've kind of been able to get healthy a little bit more, which is obviously good. So hopefully for the Dolphins' sake, that'll help them win some games. I mean, looking at their schedule now, they got 3 winnable games here coming up against the Raiders at home, Jets in New Jersey. Then they got the Commanders in Washington. Then they play the Dolphins. Then they play the Titans, Jets, and then their next real test is those last 3 games that Nick mentioned. So if they can kind of just keep doing what they've been doing, they should be all right.
And that might getting those guys back healthy, like that might be part of the issue why they have been so close but haven't quite got those good teams, you know. Like the Chiefs and the Eagles both. They were both very close to beating those teams. Maybe like the Eagles game, the score might not have showed it. But, I mean, the Dolphins were very much in that game until the last, 8 minutes, you know. But, yeah, so getting those guys back, that might kind of be – that might be, kind of the key as to why they've been, so close but, just not quite there, you know. That maybe those guys will be what kind of gets them over, like Devon Achane and a fully healthy Jalen Ramsey. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you guys think they're the favorites to win the division?
As of right now,
I would say
yes.
so. I think the Bills, we'll get to the Bills in a little bit. The Bills are just way too inconsistent. And I think they also have a tougher schedule because, they've got the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Chargers, and then the Dolphins again.
And the Jets just, geez.
Yeah.
Woo!
I just the Bills are already 1 game back, right? Are they 5-4?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
already 1 game back, and they have a tougher schedule than Miami. So I would say Miami is the favorite to win that division still. But I mean, if the Bills go to Miami and beat them week 18, they could very well steal it. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it'll be a big game. But yeah.
Nice.
I am actually very surprised at how good that Chiefs defense is.
Yeah, it's terrifying because it's like we already know Patrick Mahomes is capable of carrying a team to a Super Bowl. He did it last year for all intents and purposes. But Now you're giving him a defense that can keep you in the game on his off days and just give him an opportunity or two. That is terrifying for not just this year, but years down the road.
Yeah, that secondary that they have built up is pretty nasty. And plus you got Jones, you got Karlaftis coming in to the guy that we thought he would be when we were talking about him in the draft. It's scary to say the least.
Yeah, the year that their offense is all put together, they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. So
it's funny how that works, right?
Yeah,
it is what it is.
All right, moving on to a very interesting game, and one we'll probably have a lot to talk about. Surprisingly, we have the Vikings beating the Falcons 31-28 in the Josh Dobbs masterclass. If you didn't watch the game or haven't heard, so Jaren Hall started this game after Kirk Cousins obviously tore his Achilles the week prior, and early in the first quarter, Jaren Hall went down and he was ruled out for the game. And then Josh Dobbs came in, Josh Dobbs was traded on Tuesday to the Vikings from the Cardinals and was thrown into the fire basically. And he didn't know the playbook really at all. The players were describing what routes they were going to run. Kevin O'Connell was in his ear just breaking down the play, like right there, like on the spot. And Josh Dobbs came in there, went 20 for 30 with 158 and 2 touchdowns and won them the game. And he's been getting a lot of praise because that's probably one of the most impressive things I've seen from an NFL quarterback in a long time. To go not even knowing the playbook, being thrown in and winning a game. Yes, it is against the Falcons, who aren't great, but still, like, that's huge for the Vikings because that puts them at 5-4, which could completely turn on their season. It's a big win for the Vikings.
Well, go ahead, Zach.
No, I was just gonna say it was a massive win. It's really nice to see like Josh Dobbs. Like the dude's a rocket scientist, so I mean he should be able to get a pretty good handle on the playbook, you know. But it is pretty impressive that he turned around within like 5-day span, led the team to a victory. I think that this has like great implications for like Addison and Jefferson and like, I mean, just really the whole rest of the season because, you know, Kirk Cousins goes down. He's playing his best football of his career. And then he goes down, you know, just when the Vikings are starting to hit their stride. But, you know, Josh Dobbs comes in. Like, I mean, the season might be salvaged, you know. Like you said, they're 5-4. They got a winning record. I mean, I think the Lions have a pretty firm grasp on the division, but they're squarely in playoff contention, especially once Jefferson gets back too. It's a huge win for the Vikings, like real like morale booster. But on the Falcons end, I won't go too much into that.
Big thing for me is, for one, he went into that game barely even knowing his teammates' names. And then Kevin O'Connell is showing how great of a coach he is for even having something like this take place, where he's able to express and tell Josh Dobbs what's going on play for play as he's giving it to him. And even with his teammates explaining routes, things like that, that just shows the chemistry that team has, for one, and two, the coaching and culture that they've produced is unreal. And I think it's instantly, like you said, Zach, putting Josh Dobbs and the Vikings in potential for a playoff push, even when it seemed very faint at the beginning. I will bring up one injury that they did have again. It may not seem like a big deal, but I mean, Cam Akers going down, that's a big deal for them too.
It just like they just lose depth that way, you know. Like Madison was their guy from the start, but like he's all they had.
Cam Akers' usage was starting to go up and up and up, though.
And well, I mean, Madison's all they have now, so that's an issue.
Okay, from a from a fantasy standpoint, good for him. But like in terms of like in terms of an actual thing, I would much rather have Cam Akers around than him
for sure.
tear his Achilles.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Vikings season has pretty much just been defined by injuries up until this year. I mean, they've lost their 2 best players going into the year already. I mean, one of them will be back. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think this is really what Vikings fans expected coming off of the year they had last year. But, yeah, I mean, I honestly really like Kevin O'Connell. I think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. I think he's done a great job at Minnesota so far. This is his second year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's done a spectacular job with the Vikings. I'm just interested to see how they can, go down the stretch here with Josh Dobbs, because Josh Dobbs is no slouch. Going into this season, I don't think anybody thought much about him, but he's not bad at all.
He's having a Geno Smith type run.
He really is. So I think the Vikings could make a playoff push.
I think the Vikings will end up getting into the postseason. I think Josh Dobbs has given them a chance. And I think, like Weaver alluded to, I think it gives incentive for players like Justin Jefferson to come back and play the rest of the season.
Yeah,
because Josh Dobbs has proven himself immediately from the jump to be a guy that can win you games and play fantastic when it is required.
And that's without even knowing the playbook or your teammates.
Yeah, there was a clip where he was going over the cadence with his O-line because they didn't have it like fully under grasp. It is like Evan alluded to. It is one of the most impressive things I've seen, and we're going to talk about probably something else that was somehow even more impressive in a minute or two. And it's against a Falcons team who's like, they're not great. They've lost 5 of 7, but I wouldn't call them like a slouch by any means. It was nothing short of impressive for Josh Dobbs.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think what you alluded to, Nick, I think if they lose this game and Josh Dobbs is just, or Jaron Hall, if both of them just played horrible, and then I think you have that discussion, like, do they just shut down Jefferson for the rest of the year and kind of just roll with what they got? But now, being 5-4, have a winning record, you have some life now, so that, like you said, is an incentive to bring Jettas back. And I think if he comes back, obviously it helps the offense tremendously, and we've seen Jordan Addison step into that role pretty well, and he's been great. And then obviously still TJ Hawkinson and Alexander Madison. So I think that's a big part that not a lot of people are talking about. But speaking of their receivers, they did have KJ Osborne go down with an injury. I think
it was a concussion.
So he'll probably be out a couple of weeks, but
yeah,
it wouldn't be anything too
crazy.
But
it was ugly though.
Yeah, it looked a lot worse than it was. He got knocked out cold.
Luckily, it was only a concussion, so he should be all right.
Are we gonna should we discuss this Falcons team at all though? If you're on the Falcons end, how the heck do you let this happen?
I want to discuss one thing with the Falcons because I don't want to go down this rabbit hole that we always go down. I just want to talk about one thing, and that's what we've all seen and what the big headline has been in the last 2 weeks. Is just the underutilization of Bijan Robinson. You draft this guy, what, 7th overall,
top
right?
10 pick. I think it was 8th, but still.
He was in the top 10.
And he's splitting carries with Tyler Algier. Granted, Tyler Algier had a great season last year. He had over 1,000 yards, but Bijan Robinson is so much better than him and offers so much more to the team. Yet, I mean, Zach said this constantly, like Arthur Smith just doesn't use him, and it's frustrating for him and for everybody watching because you're like, you have this great talent and you don't use him. And then he came out, what was it, yesterday, and he was like, or maybe it was this morning, and he said, oh yeah, Bijan does a lot for us, like as a decoy, basically, is what he said.
Like, let the man work. He is your top 10 pick. He is the best running back prospect that we've had since, like, what, Zeke probably?
Saquon.
Or Saquon. Yeah, Saquon. But, like, dude, like, this has always been, like, my thing. It's like, and I saw this. I saw a meme today. I think I sent it to you, Evan, or I think I sent it to all you guys. It was like Arthur Smith. It was like use your first round like top 10 weapons or shave your mustache. Arthur Smith shaved his mustache. It's like it's funny, but it's true. The Falcons have 3 top 10 picks, all of which are extremely talented players. Kyle Pitts has like generational tight end talent. Bijan Robinson is like I don't know if I'd say generational running back talent, but I mean, he was hot at the start of the year. Best running back since Saquon Barkley in the draft, like prospect wise. Bijan Robinson's a freak. And even Drake London. Drake London was like a 2-sport athlete in college. Yeah. Dude's a freak athlete, and they don't use them.
Drake London was out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this just from a fantasy standpoint. This is from a fan standpoint and just a normal like buy watching standpoint as well as a fantasy. Like, why don't you use your weapons?
Yeah,
like
you're using Jonnu more than you're using Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. They let Jonnu Smith run a sweep play on the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and Jonnu Smith. Didn't Jonnu Smith have like a 68-yard touchdown?
You want to know that?
Like,
you know
what the heck is this?
Why? Before Arthur Smith went to Atlanta, who was their guy over there? Who was their tight end when he was a coach at Tennessee?
Was it Jonnu Smith?
It was Jonnu freaking Smith.
Yeah.
But I just don't get like why like the Falcons over the past couple of seasons have like they are known now. Like they are known for not using their best weapons.
Yeah.
And that is just like I mean, I realize that I'm not an NFL head coach. Like none of us are. So it's like we don't have a lot of room to talk here, but I do think that there does come a point when it's like, okay, like this is just stupid. And anybody can recognize that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you're using a top 10 pick to draft a decoy, there's a serious disconnect between front office and head coach, and it needs to be addressed sooner rather than later.
And I guarantee you, if Kyle Pitts was on at least half of the other teams in the NFL, dude would be putting up like crazy stats. Like, I mean, it would be like ridiculous. And if I'm a head coach, I'm putting Kyle Pitts all over the freaking field. Like, his position is tight end, yes, but this dude is like 6'5", 240, runs like a 4.3. Like, this dude can be split out wide at receiver, like slot receiver. This dude can do almost anything.
Yeah.
I am feeding this man. And they don't have just him. They have a spectacular running back that they don't use. And like to your point, Evan, like they have these top 10 picks, and the guys that they are using in place of them are Algier, who was like a 5th or a 6th rounder, and then this Jonnu Smith guy. Like seriously?
Yeah.
We get it.
Last thing I want to say before we move on, just going off the numbers. So Bijan's first 6 games, he averaged 13 carries a game, 67 rush yards, 5 targets, 4 receptions, and 31 receiving yards. His last 3 games, he's averaged 8 carries, 39 rush yards, 3 targets, 0.7 receptions, and 2.7 receiving yards. So obviously his usage has been cut in half. And we won't understand it unless we personally ask Arthur Smith.
And even then we wouldn't, because he's a moron.
So, yeah. All right, moving on. We got another great game that, again, none of us thought we'd be talking about. We got the Texans and the Bucks. CJ Stroud masterclass. We talked about the Josh Dobbs masterclass, but about the CJ Stroud masterclass.
This was unironically a CJ Stroud masterclass.
Oh yeah,
CJ, this is one of the this easily offensive rookie of the year. Like CJ Stroud is probably like a top 10 to 12 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude is wild. Like the Panthers are picking, and I said this going into the draft. I said the Panthers should take CJ Stroud. I thought they traded up to take CJ Stroud. I always said that. And they are kicking themselves for not doing that now. Bryce Young might be a solid guy. He ain't playing like it right now. I realize he's young, but CJ Stroud is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's a rookie.
I mean, yesterday or on Sunday, went 30 for 42 with 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 picks, that was the most passing yards by a rookie. Was it most touchdowns by a rookie in a game?
No, it
believe
wasn't
so.
those touchdowns by a rookie.
Those
but-
most,
It was
those
not?
most, those most yards and touchdowns without a pick, right?
yeah,
And then obviously he had the game-winning drive. What was it, under a minute or?
46
It was
seconds.
40
and
seconds.
I think no timeouts.
No,
No, two
timeouts,
timeouts.
40
They had-
seconds.
I think they had 2 timeouts.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I
not
don't
still.
think they had any timeouts. Maybe one. No, they didn't have any timeouts.
I'm gonna say this: 4 players stood out to me in that game. Of course, we've been talking about CJ Stroud. Tank Dell is looking.
massive day.
He had a massive day. Give him props for that because he from the portions that I was able to watch, Tank Dell was putting on a show. And then you go to the other side of the ball. Baker Mayfield's playing a lot better than any of us thought we would.
Absolutely.
I've been impressed by Baker this year. And then also, you got to bring up Rashad White. Rashad White over the past 3 games has been one of the best running backs in terms of he's just been able to do so much to help that Buccaneers team when they'd have a stagnant offense. Rashad White's been able to help them out a lot. But go back to it. CJ Stroud. You pointed it out, Zach. If he doesn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year, I don't know who does. He's the one that's most deserving, by far.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
saying
even
that
a
as
question.
it's not even a question. I'm not
Like
saying
he,
that as an
like
Ohio
he
State
has
fan.
came in and like obviously with the help of a new head coach and then some other supporting guys that they got in the draft, but Stroud has been the spearhead of this Texans franchise like turning around. Like the Texans are not a bad football team right now.
No, not at all.
No.
Like
I
it's thanks
is
to
this
CJ
crazy
Stroud.
to say? Is this crazy to say? Hypothetically, what's their record right now?
4-4.
4-4. And they would be considered the 8th team, right? At this moment in time.
No, I think they're like 9 or 10 because the Bills are still ahead of them technically.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't think the Texans are making the playoffs this year, but they are massively
I
improved.
don't think it's that far.
I don't
Their
think it's out of the
schedule is
question.
absurdly easy.
I don't think it's out of the
I
question.
mean, who are they going to make it
They've
over?
got the
Plus, we know-
Cardinals, Broncos, Jets, 2 games against the Titans, and then the Colts. And then they've got like the Bengals, Jags, and Browns as well.
But
I can
who
see
are they
that.
making it over is
I
my
can see
thing.
them finishing second in that division for sure.
Yeah.
I think they'll finish second in the division as well. But I mean, the way the AFC North's playing, that makes it tough.
Exactly.
There's no
Which is
AFC West team other than the Chiefs that are getting in. You have the Bills. Essentially, that last spot's going to come down to an AFC North team, the Bills. I would throw the Texans in there.
I mean, yes, but the Texans are the least likely out of probably
Yeah.
the Bengals and the Bills.
They're on the outside looking in, but they have a
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need the cookies to crumble in their direction, but
Yeah, they need some teams ahead of them to lose games they shouldn't lose.
They're going to need the Bengals and the Bills to pretty much blow it, I think.
Well, they got a game against the Bengals this week, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean we'll see. This performance by CJ Stroud is up there with the most impressive thing I've ever seen at the NFL level. Like for a rookie who has played less than half a season at this point, to play as well as he did with as much pressure as he was under and losing his starting kicker, not having his starting running back, like he put the game on his shoulders and said, I'm going to carry you to a win or I'm going to die trying. And
And he was calm and collected,
Yeah.
too, man.
it wasn't just about the stats. The difficulty of the throws he was making, especially after their kicker went down, was something that is on level with the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like
their
it's on the
kicker was
level
their
of
running back.
it's on the level of like a Patrick Mahomes and a Joe Burrow and an Aaron Rodgers and stuff. Like it was absurd.
Let's not also forget that he threw his first interception in his NFL career like a week or two ago.
I think it was against the Saints. It was either against the Saints or Falcons, but
Like, that's crazy, too. Let's not forget about that.
yeah.
I mean, that's just saying well, obviously we did a bunch of mock drafts and stuff, and his biggest thing coming out of the draft was his accuracy. And he's showing that with obviously only one pick, his decision making, his football IQ, and his accuracy has been on point and on display these last couple of games and all throughout the season. And I was reading something; he's on pace for like 30-something touchdowns and 2 picks or something like that. So it's something crazy.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
I think they said he's tied for the best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history
I'm sure he is
right now.
That's crazy.
But of all the everything he accomplished on Sunday, I alluded to it earlier, but just he had a 147.8 passer rating. It's the highest single game passer rating by a rookie quarterback with a minimum of 30 attempts in NFL history. 470 passing yards, or most passing yards by a rookie in a game in NFL history. Became the youngest player to have 450 passing yards in a game, and just the 6th player in NFL history to record at least 450 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions in a game.
Jeez.
Wild, man.
Masterclass. That's all you can say.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane.
Is he going to break the Ohio State quarterback curse?
He already has.
I think
He already
definitely
has.
It's the Diary of a Wimpy Kid
Yeah,
meme.
this is why you never judge quarterbacks based off the school they come from.
Yep.
Ever. Because
That's fair.
Oregon had a bit of a QB curse until Justin Herbert came in the league.
Marcus
And I
Mariota.
mean, Justin
What about-
Herbert's not like an MVP caliber player, but like he's still
He doesn't
he's still
suck.
a
He
really
doesn't
good
suck.
quarterback. Yeah, he's still a really good quarterback at the NFL level.
Now they got Bo Nix to change that.
Yeah, Bo. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see with Bo Nix. Probably front runner for the Heisman right now, but that's it.
Is Bo
No, Michael Penix.
I know,
They're like, right.
they're like 1 and 2.
They're 1-2.
It is not Caleb. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, it's not.
He's out. He's out.
Bros Watt.
Yeah. Anything else on that game?
No, you guys covered it all. Not much else I can add.
We drilled it.
Sweet. All right, moving on to a battle of the NFC East powerhouses. We got the Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. Philly came on top 28-23. And Dak Prescott has been pretty impressive the last couple of games. I know they've lost, but 374 yards, 3 touchdowns on 29 for 44 passing. He's putting it together. That's his 2nd straight game with over 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he
think-
played.
Yeah.
Dak is not completely horrible right now.
I think a big thing that stuck with me during that game was poor game management on the side of Dallas. I think they handled the end of that game very poorly.
What's new?
Yeah, I mean,
You're not
that's
wrong,
the Cowboys.
But I mean, you got to give Dak his credit. He basically honed in on 2 guys the entire game.
CD Lamb and CD Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb,
CeeDee Lamb
and
and
you got to
CeeDee
give
Lamb.
Jake Ferguson his look.
I know.
But yes, CeeDee Lamb.
And Jake Ferguson had a day.
Jake
Yeah.
Ferguson went nuts.
He's good.
I think
is
those
good.
2 combined are maybe 2/3 of his total yards.
Yeah, they did. They are combined for like 280
That's
and a touchdown.
300 yards almost. So
Because C went for 191 himself.
yeah, and Ferguson at 91. So it's what?
About
280.
Yeah.
282.
282.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I mean, yeah. If I was,
Go ahead, Nick.
all right.
Thanks, Nick, for CD Lamb, by the way.
Yeah, don't talk to me about it. If you're a Cowboys fan, you leave this game actually more. I mean, it's really frustrating to lose the way that they did, obviously. Because I mean they quite literally lost by a few inches. They get that touchdown, that 2-point conversion. If they get one of those 2 things, they either kick the field goal to go to overtime or they just win it in regulation flat out. But I find a Cowboys fan. I'm actually leaving this game with a little more optimism than I did have going in, because I think the question with them was, can Dak perform at an elite level against good football teams? And this game proved that he is capable of doing that. Like 375 and 3 touchdowns against an Eagles defense that's good, but not as good as they were last year. But I mean, they're obviously 8-1. They're a pretty good football team. But yeah, the ending game management by the Cowboys was quite puzzling, to say the least. No timeouts, trying to run passes in the middle of the field, get sacked a couple times. Like, the opportunity was there, but they just couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And then
Story of
just you
Dallas,
got to give the
I
Eagles
guess,
the
but-
props. Eagles are just
A juggernaut.
they're so impressive. Even in tough situations, tough games like this one, they're able to. Jalen Hurts is able to do things. I mean, they got the brotherly push figured out. Like, that's automatic. It doesn't even matter. He's hurt. He's got a messed up knee right now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he heard it this
Kinda.
game.
And then they still use him. Like, I'd be more nervous to use my $200 million quarterback at least that way. But I mean, whatever. But their defense, we probably emphasize this enough. I think this is probably the best team in I think this team's the best team in football right now. Eagles, no doubt.
Yeah,
I think they're better than the Chiefs
We'll
right
talk
now.
about them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they got the MVP front runner in Jalen Hurts right now. If I was voting for MVP today, I would vote for Jalen Hurts. I think he's got like 2,600 total yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 picks in total when you account for his rushing stats too. And they're 8-1.
And 3 of
So
those
it's like-
picks were in one game.
Yeah, and 3 of those picks were in one game. So if I was voting, I would pick the Eagles. They've got a top 3 receiver in the league this season, AJ Brown. They've got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. I mean, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Although Dallas Goedert is going to miss
Dallas
about
Goedert
4
had the
weeks.
forearm injury now,
Yeah.
so he's gone for a little bit.
But I mean, this team, it's Super Bowl or bust for them with the addition of Kevin Byard. I think they're on a bit of a mission, and I don't see many teams stopping them in this point.
It's redemption time.
Yeah.
Evan, you got anything?
No, you guys pretty much covered everything I was going to say. I mean, obviously, like you guys said, Eagles are the best team of football. And I was really impressed with Dak. I thought he looked really well. And CeeDee Lamb starting to get his stride back again, which is huge.
Yeah, because of course he is after I trade him.
You know who I really haven't been impressed with much this year?
Who?
Tony Pollard.
Yeah. Like,
I was
He has been a little underwhelming, I feel like, this season.
I mean, I feel like the expectations were pretty high for him.
They were,
yeah.
but I think there was reason for him to meet
Or
those
that
expectations.
Because there really was no second guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just him. I
Yeah.
mean, Deuce Vaughn.
Rico Dowdle is their number 2.
Yeah, he has definitely been disappointing.
But overall, I think the Cowboys did look good. I
Mhm.
mean, their defense is still hitting, even with the absence of Diggs.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I mean, the Eagles are the best team in football right now. I knew they were going to win this game. The Cowboys are not a slouch. They're a good football team, but it's just we have seen time and time and time over again that in games like this, they just don't pull through because poor time management, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
All right, well, Zach, you're going to have a lot to talk about this next game because we got the Sunday night primetime game, Bengals, Bills. Bengals win 24-18. And
Yeah.
I think the Bengals are back. I think they're back. Joe Burrow looks healthy. He had a great game. T. Higgins had one of his best games of the year. The defense played great.
Mhm.
I think the Bengals look like the team we expected to coming into the season.
Yeah. It's a bit of a late start.
What's
But
new
I
with
mean,
this game?
better late than never with them. I do agree the Bengals are fully back. This is where we thought they were going to start the season. But it's always better to hit the stride later on. We're playing November football. This is when you want to start hitting your stride, and that's when they started hitting the stride. Joe Burrow in the last I think it was the last 4 games, Burrow's thrown like 10 touchdowns in the last 4 games.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean he's 4-0 in those, like that's 4 straight for him. Burrow's fully back. He's looking like the Joe Burrow that everybody knows and loves. It was really nice to see T. Higgins finally have a great game because he was having a very slow start to the season. But it was nice to see T. Higgins get back, and they got him pretty involved. They didn't use Jamar as much as I would have liked to have seen. I always feel that the offense is just moving a lot more better and is more explosive when Jamar gets involved. But I think they did a fine job. And it shows how dangerous the offense is even without Jamar going, because he's got that, he's playing with that back tweak. Hopefully that's nothing crazy. Just get some rest and whatnot. But yeah, the Bengals are fully back. Their defense is, I would almost say, one of the clutchest defenses in the NFL. A very underrated defense in the NFL. Yeah, I mean that's what I got to say pretty much with the Bengals. I think they're fully back. This is where we want to see them playing right now.
As much as I hate on the Bengals, I will contest that I do think that they are back. I don't see them losing very many games the rest of the season. I think I have them going like 11-6 now, which, considering they started the year off 1-3, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, Joe Burrow had another fantastic game against a good team. Their running game is still not as efficient as I would like to see, but it came through when it mattered. And like Weaver alluded to, their defense always comes up with a clutch play late in a game against a good team. Like, it is without fail. And it wasn't like the Tyler Huntley fumble where it's like, how do you fumble at the 2-yard line and then it gets returned for a touchdown? Jermaine Pratt punched that ball out of Dalton Kincaid. That is about as clutch as it gets. Because I think if the Bills score a touchdown there, they might
tie the game,
at least tie the game, if not like take it at the end of it, because they were moving the ball semi-consistently that second half.
And I think they got the 2-point conversion when they did finally score. So if they'd have scored on that drive that they fumbled it, then I mean they would have won the game by 1 point.
Yeah, or they would have at least had a chance to.
Yeah.
I just on the Buffalo side of things, they rely too much on Josh Allen hero ball, and he's proven to do it against good teams in his career, but when he doesn't, their offense is just kind of stagnant, and it doesn't go anywhere.
And I think we also see that he's still struggling with turnovers.
Yeah, he is.
Fourth straight game with the turnover.
4th straight game with the pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is more turnover prone. The thing with Josh Allen is, he can turn any play into a touchdown. And also his rushing ability is something that you have to keep like tabs for. Like he was their entire rushing attack against the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people rate him so highly. That's why I think it's fair that he's rated so highly. But like you alluded to, this is his 4th straight game with an interception. He's becoming turnover prone, a lot more turnover prone than you need.
Yeah. However, I will say that I don't think that like it's time to say, oh, the Bills are horrible. Like the Bills are fake this year. They're pretenders. I don't think that's the case either. I think the Bengals are just actually a really good football team.
I think both can be applied.
I think so too.
I think the Bills
I'm not
are way too
panicking on the
inconsistent.
Bills like super bad. I think the Bills can still make the playoffs, and the Bills are still a good team.
Yeah.
I just think that the Bengals are. I mean, the Bengals are probably the top 5 team in the league right now.
Yeah, the Bills are going to have to steal a game against either the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, or Dolphins. Like
Yeah,
they're gonna
that's
have to
upload.
take at least one of those games, and I could
Yeah.
see them losing all of them. I could very easily see the Bills missing the playoffs. They're 5-4 right now, and their team is entirely reliant on Josh Allen. They've got a ton of injuries on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, I think like part of the reason that we could see the Bills missing the playoffs though is just because of how good the AFC North is. And I don't even know if I'd say like good, because I think the Bills are a better team than the Steelers and probably even the Browns. I think it's just that like the way the schedules play out, you know what I'm saying? Like the Steelers
Yeah.
and the Browns have an easier schedule than the Bills.
I will bring this up. You brought up the idea that Josh Allen is one play away from turning it into a touchdown, things like that. But you also know anytime you're playing the Bills, you're going to get at least 5 or 6 opportunities from Josh Allen to get, say, an interception, something like that.
Yeah, to take the ball away.
Yeah.
Dude is
Double-edged sword.
I
with them.
love his aggression. Yeah, it is. I
But
love his
sometimes
aggression,
it's
but
a little
sometimes too much. I don't know what all you guys talk about with the Bengals since I cut out, but it was good to see T. Higgins finally get his head out of his rear. My tight end one for the Bengals is Tanner Hudson.
I so agree with that. Like
Tanner Hudson is
I
the best.
love that
Tanner Hudson
guy.
is the best tight end on roster.
I completely agree with that. I love that guy.
Tanner Hudson needs to be playing more. And
Oh yeah.
finally, I think this is the Bengals are finally turning it around. They always do it. Seems like past 3 years under Burrow. I wish they would start faster, but hey, you'll take it when you can. I think right now they're playing pretty close to a top 5 team. I'll probably put them just outside the top 5.
I have them in the top 5 currently. But
I would say the Eagles, the Chiefs, Ravens, Cowboys. Okay, I might throw them at 5.
yeah, I think you can make an argument that they're better than the Cowboys. But we won't get into an argument like that. But oh man, what was I gonna say? I totally lost what I was gonna say. Never mind. Oh yeah, I just think it shows that like this. I was just gonna say like you made that comment about Burrow. Like this is just like they're a winning football team. Like Joe Burrow is a winner, and they have packed this locker room full of winners. Like it's just they win games, and it's almost like each season they're like, how can we make this harder for ourselves? like how can we add more adversity for ourselves to overcome each year? Like the beginning of the season last year, Burrow has appendicitis, gets his appendix out. They drop the first 2 weeks of the season. They look not great in the first 2 games. They drop them both, and then they fight back from that, and they finish 12-4. This year, Burrow strains his calf. It's a severe injury. They start out 1-3. They look like hot garbage. Now they've won 4 straight, and they are firmly in top 5 in the NFL.
And the last 3 have been against good football teams.
Very very good teams.
Like the Seahawks, Niners, and Bills are all good football teams.
And I would go as far to say that they nearly dismantled 2 of those 3 teams. Like
The 49ers,
wasn't
I would say.
close.
I wouldn't say they dismantled the Bills or the.
I won't say dismantled. You could say
They
had the Bills pretty firmly in that. They had the Bills pretty firmly, I would say.
Yeah, they controlled that game from really the first possession when they just marched down the field.
Well, see that, and that's the other thing that I think we have to point out too. In the last 3 games, I would say 2 of those 3 games they have like firmly controlled that game. It's just been a different feeling because of how fast they start out. All 3 of those games, they have drove right down the field and scored on the first possession of the game. like they've been starting out so fast that they've just been like jumping on their opponent, and they control the game from the first snap, and that's what you need to see out of this Bengals team. But I don't know. I just feel like every offseason they're like, all right, how can we make this more difficult? Like, you know, and this year they're cutting it pretty dang close because it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs this year with how bad they started out. So a lot to overcome, you know.
All I'm gonna say is nothing scarier than Joe Burrow after the bye week.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Um,
Evan, what do you think of my list?
I think it's pretty fair. It's probably what I would list.
Power ranking, Zach.
Did you put it in the chat?
No, I sent it to Evan individually.
Oh,
I said Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Jags, Lions, Cowboys / Bengals.
I'd put the Jags lower.
I'm not putting the Bengals are better than the Jags. Lions.
Well, unless you're going like by division.
Yeah, I would have Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, and then probably Bengals at 5. And then Jags at 6 right now.
I would probably more so agree with Nick's. I believe the Bengals are better than the Cowboys and the Jags. The Lions.
Lions are good. Lions are a good football
over
team.
one spot.
2.
We always do that, Joel.
Jeez and Pete. It is 10 o'clock, so.
Yeah. All right, just real quick. There's not a whole lot I want to talk about this game, but Monday night game, we have the Chargers beating the Jets 27-6. Really, the only thing we could talk about is that the Jets' offense is not good. Not been great. Zach Wilson is not as bad as we thought he was, but he's just mid.
He's bad. He's not a good quarterback.
He's bad. Quentin Johnston also is bad.
Don't tell me. Don't bring it up.
Just, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
I mean, I get it with Sauce Gardner covering you 3/4 of the game, but gosh dang, dude.
yeah, but that game happened. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not watch a single second of that game. I was in the ER getting stitches in my thumb. So
you didn't miss anything.
yeah, I didn't
Delicious.
think.
Yeah, there wasn't much. I mean, the Chargers had that game from the start to the end. It was not a good game at all. But I will say one possibly bright thing. Aaron Rodgers walked into the stadium and threw in pregame once again, I'm pretty sure.
60 yards.
No crutches or anything. Like the dude is he is making crazy recovery time. Like he really might be back this season.
I think he said that he was going to try to come back week 16.
But why risk it if you're not?
Yeah, at that point.
I think he'll be back for playoffs if they make it.
If they make it, he'll be back for the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. But it's encouraging for next year too.
I'm gonna just say this. Anytime the Jets had any momentum, I'm not blaming Zach Wilson. They made so many stupid penalties, so many mental mistakes, so many drop balls. Anytime you get into anything remotely close, you get a drive going, you get like 5-6 plays, 40 yards, and then you have 2 holding penalties.
Or a
and then a drop ball. Or a fumble.
Fumbled a lot.
I'm not putting, I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of it has to do with Zach Wilson. But there were a lot of other factors last night that dictated that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
All right, so you boys ready for a new segment /
All right.
game, if you want to call it. So
What do
we
we got
talked
here,
about how great CJ Stroud was earlier. So I want to do a little would you rather CJ Stroud edition.
Ooh.
All right.
Where we really put him in at quarterback. So I'm going to list off quarterbacks, and you're going to tell me if you'd rather have them or CJ Stroud. So let's get started. First off, we got Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes. Yeah.
Yeah, easy. Mahomes. Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh, I'd take Stroud.
Tua.
I'm gonna go with Tua. I think he's played well enough this year.
And
For this year,
I'm
in the
going on-
future,
I'm going on
absolutely
potential.
CJ Stroud.
I'm going on potential and future.
I'm going to Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. And if there's any of these you want to debate, we can.
I'd like to debate this CJ Stroud and Tua one. How the heck am I the only one that took Stroud?
I think Tua's been playing well enough to warrant his pick over CJ Stroud. Tua's been playing really
healthy.
good football.
When
Yeah.
healthy, Tua competes and plays like one of the top 5 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he's been fantastic for them this season.
I'll give him top 10, but I'm not giving him top 5.
Sounds good.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen.
Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor. Jared Goff.
CJ Stroud. I'm taking Stroud all day.
Hey, I'm gonna throw a real wrench in your plans here. I'm going Stroud.
I'd probably go Stroud too, but Jared Goff's been really
Yeah,
good.
Jared Goff's been good.
One of you four has to have like an out there take because I just had one with.
We
the
haven't
201.
even got there yet.
We're
Chill
like
out.
5 quarterbacks in.
Yeah,
Burrow.
Burrow.
Burrow. Good lord.
Dak Prescott.
Well, I'd probably take CJ Stroud here.
I think I'm taking Stroud here too.
Yeah, Dak Prescott's been playing well, but I mean CJ Stroud's doing just as good with less.
And CJ Stroud, see, I'm thinking off of like potential and like future too. Like that's more like that's why I said Tua, like him over Tua. Like CJ Stroud is like potential top 5 like franchise quarterback for a while.
I think this one's pretty tough.
This one's tough.
It is tough.
This is a coin flip for me. Give me Dak.
I'll go Dak as well. Keep it even.
2-2. Interesting.
That's an interesting one. I like that.
That one's a close one.
Why do you think Dak is a better football player than CJ Stroud right now?
Yeah, I would like
That's
to hear
my
your
take.
reasonings for this.
It might be a little bit of recency bias, but like we've seen CJ Stroud for a few years now. I know what to expect with this guy.
And we've also seen Dak for a few years now, and this is probably the best he's played since his rookie year. So
Yeah.
They're both pretty close when it comes to rankings.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude,
I
up
would
until
and I would
this
say-
year,
I would-
Dak
I would
was
say
horrible.
this, and I would say this with Dak Prescott. What I know, the big thing is Super Bowls, things like that. This man has given them opportunities year after year to get there with getting them to the playoffs, things like that. I don't think there's enough in the books we can base off the short sample size that we have with CJ Stroud. I'm going to take the experience a little more. I'm going to lean more Dak.
I think the Cowboys getting the playoff spots is more due to good team building than the ability of Dak Prescott.
I will completely agree with that.
Like, I mean, like, trash on Jerry Jones and the GM all you want, but he has built good rosters for the past, 7 years.
They
with
got
the
a
Cowboys.
heck of a defense.
Yeah. Although Dak is playing the best since his rookie year. That's
No,
not
yeah,
even debatable.
Dak's playing good football right now. But my thing is, this dude, was pretty consistently considered to be horrendous going into the year. He
I don't know
sucked.
about that, but
I don't.
He was
he did
bad.
not have a good year last year
I
at
don't
all.
say that.
I would say he sucked.
Well, yeah, he's still top 15, top 16 guy probably.
Top half of the league.
Yeah.
I'll go Dak.
That's not saying much. It's a drop off once you get a little further down.
Justin Herbert.
Ooh.
Give me Herbert.
I'm going
Herbert.
to probably go with Herbert on this
Yeah,
one.
this is tough.
That's a
I'm-
tough one, too,
It's
though.
tough. That's tough. I think that's tougher than Dak. Probably gonna take Justin Herbert though.
I think that's a similar because like I said with the Dak and the Tua one, I'm taking him because I know that he has a lot of future and a lot of potential. like it's the same with Herbert. Like both of them have a lot of potential, and like I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Herbert just because I've seen his potential on display a little bit longer.
Russell Wilson.
Stroud.
CJ
Yeah,
Stroud.
right now, CJ Stroud. Although Russell Wilson has quietly been playing really good
Russell
football.
He's had a great season this year.
That's
Yeah.
our-
In Russell's prime, he's a Hall of Famer. But
Absolutely,
now
yeah,
CJ
first
Stroud.
ballot.
Yes, but right now Stroud.
If you look at his stats, him and Patrick Mahomes, stats are identical. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
he's got
That's
16
crazy.
touchdowns and 4 picks on 1,600 yards. He's been playing good this year.
That's crazy.
Matt Stafford.
Stroud.
CJ Stroud, absolutely.
CJ.
There's Stroud. Baker Mayfield.
Stroud.
CJ.
Stroud.
Kirk Cousins.
I was about to ask if you were going to bring him
Ooh.
up because Kirk Cousins was playing by far the best football of his career.
That's tough too, man.
Yeah, I think this is tough.
I'm gonna have to just keep picking off of the potential, and I'm gonna have to go with Stroud, but that's tough.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna go Kirk.
I think
I
right
think-
now I'm going to go Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I'll go Kirk.
I want to switch, but I don't think I can now. So we'll stay where I'm at. Because I'm a huge Kirk Cousins fan.
Trying to
Be
see
different.
if these are even like a debate or not.
Anthony Richardson. No, I'm just like
I was gonna say Anthony Richardson.
I'm thinking of a different one.
Jordan Love, Evan.
Yeah, Jordan Love.
No,
Jordan Love.
I got a better
Mac
one. I got a better
Jones.
one.
Kyler
Mac
Murray.
Jones.
Kyler.
What?
Kyler Murray.
Stroud.
I think that one's a tough one.
I think that's a tough one too. Basing it off of the last time we saw Kyler play, I'm gonna take CJ Stroud. Because last season was not great for Kyler Murray even before he tore his ACL.
This one's closer for me than the Dak one was.
I
don't
think
gonna go-
Kyler Murray gets unfairly hated on.
I
But
do too.
I
Give me Kyler. I'm gonna go Kyler.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to say Stroud.
What about Lamar Jackson?
I was about ready to say that's the guy I was thinking.
Yeah.
of.
Oh yeah, I skipped through him. My bad. I'm taking Lamar hands down.
I'm taking Lamar also.
I'm
know,
also
Weaver's
going to take Lamar, but I don't think it's hands down.
I was just about to say, like, I don't think I can take Stroud here, but it's not hands down.
I mean, Lamar's like what 26, playing an MVP level. Like, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, I think it's pretty clear.
I think it's pretty clear too.
And I think he's playing with less weapons, or if the same exact weapons that the Texans have.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
It's not an easy one. It's not like an immediate though for me. I mean, I can't take Stroud because
You're Lamar Jackson hater.
I wouldn't say I'm a
Yeah,
hater,
it's-
but I don't.
I
You know,
called him
you
a
know my
running
take with
back.
him. You know my take with him.
Yeah, I think that Lamar Jackson's kind of expectations are a bit inflated because of how good the Ravens are this year. But I mean, he only has 9 passing touchdowns. He only has 14 total touchdowns and like 2,300 yards. So I mean, like, that's what I was talking about earlier. Why I said Jalen Hurts is the front runner. I think Jalen Hurts has better stats and they have a better record.
I think Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. Absolutely.
Yeah, Lamar's playing well. He's playing really well, but
It's one of his better years he's had.
yeah.
Any other ones that you guys can think of?
I think that's about it.
Derek
At least
Carr.
this one.
Derek Carr, CJ Stroud,
CJ Stroud.
Brock Purdy.
Absolutely.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy. That's
Stroud.
No,
I'm
it's
taking
not-
Stroud, but
It's
that's
not. It's CJ Stroud.
yeah.
I'm
No,
not
I'm
sure.
saying CJ Stroud, but I didn't even think of Purdy.
It's not hard.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Bryce Young.
Stroud. Good lord.
Stroud.
Yeah.
Why is anybody thinking about this?
No, we weren't thinking about it.
Oh.
I'd take Stroud too.
Should
Justin,
we have the Caleb Williams Nah, Caleb Williams is better. I understand he hasn't played it down in the NFL. I still think Caleb Williams is going to be better than
Caleb Williams is egregiously overrated, but he's
How
still
is he egregiously overrated?
because
has
people are saying he's the next Patrick Mahomes.
He has a bottom 5. He has like a bottom 2 Power 5 defense in the entire FBS.
CJ
He's
Stroud is
their
a great
entire
talent. He's a
team.
great player, but he is outlandishly overrated. Are we really saying this guy is the next Patrick
You just said
Mahomes?
CJ Stroud's
Yeah,
overrated.
Not
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams. Are we really
Oh.
saying he's the next Patrick Mahomes?
Caleb Williams has
that really a thing
28
you're gonna say?
touchdowns to 4. I don't know if I'm going to say he's the next Patrick Mahomes, but like
No one should say that.
he is
They
the
don't-
real deal.
The only thing people are saying is that they have similar play styles.
Yeah.
Like if you watch their film, it's identical.
I don't even care.
He
But
also
no one-
gets
You should
absolutely
not
no
put
help.
You should not put Caleb Williams in the same tier or mention as the best football player on the planet. No way.
No one's putting him in the same tier. They just play similarly.
I don't care. I think CJ Stroud or not. Gosh, why do I keep saying? I think Caleb Williams is an overrated player. He is a great talent and he's a great player, but for the things people are saying about him, he is overrated.
He's going to revitalize the franchise for the next 15 years.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I am fully 100% confident in that.
Oh man, Evan, you got to clip that right there. You've got to clip that and keep that in your back pocket, Evan.
Barring injury, I could see Caleb Williams winning a couple Super Bowls.
Clip that and put it in your back pocket, Evan.
All right. I think that's about it. So overall,
Prediction time.
where's CJ Stroud ranking right now?
I don't know. Is somebody counting?
Lower part of the top 10,
Lower part
probably.
of the top 1? Okay, that's
I
what
would say probably
Maybe just outside the top 10.
I would say anywhere from 10 to 13. I would say
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, I'd go like 10 to 12. That's it.
Yeah.
I would say in that range.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
you guys named more guys than I did that he's better than or that he's worse than though, so I'm not sure.
yeah,
Just a couple.
pretty much the same.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to some predictions.
Oh gosh. You guys excited for the primetime games this week?
Why is Jets Raiders the Sunday night game when Niners, Jags, and Lions Chargers exist?
Or
And
even
Browns Ravens. Why is Jets Raiders the Sunday night game? Like, I understand they can't change the Thursday or Monday night games because they're on completely separate days, but I don't understand why we're going to be forced to watch Zach Wilson and Aiden O'Connell battle it out in Las Vegas.
The NFL is like scummy.
Like, what?
for that.
I get revenue. What revenue are they going to gain from this? Maybe some because it's in Vegas and it involves the Jets, but like, I don't want to talk about it. That's my little mini rant over. But
I ranted about that for a while.
oh yeah, speaking of which, the Colts won. Congratulations.
yeah, they
Nick.
did. They beat the worst team in football. I don't care.
I don't care.
And also, if Kenny Moore didn't have 2 pick sixes, the game would have been tied.
But they beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
They beat the Panthers.
Good heavens, man.
They play the
Speaking.
Patriots this week. If they beat the Patriots in Germany, they're going to be 500.
Dude, if they beat the
That
Patriots
is
in Germany, there's a
unreal.
real possibility Belichick gets fired. I heard.
Imagine that's how his tenure ends.
Losing to your Colts.
That would make me so happy.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
That's
Speaking of the
crazy.
worst team in football, Evan.
We have the two worst. We have the Caleb Williams Bowl.
It's not even a Caleb Williams Bowl. The Bears have the Panthers pick.
Yeah, the Bears are just playing for picks 1 through 3. I guess. Panthers Bears Thursday night prime time. Who we got?
Give me the Bears. The Panthers are freaking terrible.
Justin Fields is going to be back this week. Bears.
Yes.
I'm going to take the Panthers because I think the Panthers have more incentive to win than the Bears.
I'm gonna go with the Bears. Because if Justin Fields is back, I think that helps him a lot.
I do
I
too.
don't think that helps a whole lot, but
That
It helps more than
It helps
usually
more than
does.
you think.
Yeah.
than Tyson Bajan, whatever his name is.
I mean, yeah, but like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna. Oh, the Bears are great team now. They got
I
Justin.
never said that. I just
They're
said I said they were going to beat the worst team in football.
They're
Yeah.
stuck.
Colts Patriots.
I'm gonna have to force myself to wake up at 9:30 to watch this true barn burner of a game.
I don't know if I've picked for the Patriots at any point this season. So, yeah, you know what? Just for just to get back at Nick for his Sunday night crap, I'm gonna take the Patriots
that's
here.
fair. that's fair. I'm gonna take the Colts in this game. I think they're a slightly better garbage heap than the Patriots are.
Give me the Colts.
I'm going with the Colts as well.
Oh, for Pete's
The
sake.
Patriots are in full on tank mode, and Belichick very well could be fired, which I don't think that.
That's not happening.
Never know. Browns Ravens. This one should be a good one.
Screw both of those teams. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this Ravens Seahawks game, but I think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC right now. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game. I think their team is just playing on another level.
I'm going with the Browns.
Good man.
I'll go with the Ravens, but it'll be a close, low-scoring game, I think.
Yep.
Packers Steelers. This one should be fun.
Oh gosh.
Game.
Hey, Zach, you're going to be really happy with me. I'm going with the Steelers.
I'm going with the Packers here.
I'm going to go with the Steelers too, and they're going to be sitting at 6-3.
Somebody be different with me and take the freaking Packers here.
It's not going to be me because I'm going with the Steelers. The Packers' offense is abysmal.
So is the Steelers.
Yeah, but one has a
But
great
they actually
team,
have a
but-
competent defense to make up for it.
Yeah.
Packers
It's going to be a
all the way.
13-10
Go
type
Pack,
of game.
go. Go Pack, go.
We got 49ers Jags.
Why is this game not on Sunday night?
This is
I don't
a
understand.
tough game, dude.
I love this
By
game.
far the best game of the week.
I want to pick the Jags, but I don't foresee the Niners losing 4 straight. So give me the Niners.
I'm also going to take the Niners for the exact same reason that Zach said. I don't see the Niners losing 4 straight with how good that team is.
Plus, they're coming off a bye week.
Yeah.
You get
Some of the
recuperated.
Jags,
You get Debo. That is true, but you get Debo Samuel back as well. So I'm going to go Niners also.
Also going to go Niners for all the same reasons that you guys mentioned.
all right, the Jags are for real. 7-2 Jaguars.
Woo! Zach or Nick, your predictions are looking fantastic.
My predictions are looking Oh, the Niners Jags. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, but
We got Saints Vikings next.
Jeez and
Give me
peas.
the Vikings.
Give me the Saints.
this game is I don't. Who cares? I'm gonna take the Saints as well. I think the Saints they've won their last 2. I mean the Vikings have won their last 4. I don't. Give
Derek
me the
Carr's
Saints.
actually looked decent too.
Yeah, give me the Saints. I guess.
I'm going to go with the Saints as well. I think
Why? For what purpose?
they got a good defense. Derek Carr hasn't looked horrible.
Kamara and
Kamara's been really good. They're
you want
not
to hear a
bad
crazy
team.
stat? Over the past 4 games, I'm going to tell you guys some stats here, or snap counts or percentages. Ready? Alvin Kamara snap trends the past 4 games: 80%, 73%, 58%, 49%. Jamal Williams over the same period: 0, 22, 23, 43.
John's going to get rid of Kamara soon.
John's not going to get rid of anyone because he doesn't play.
John
He doesn't pay attention.
play.
He needs.
He doesn't know what's happening.
I know. He did make a move though. He dropped somebody. He dropped his
He
free
dropped his
dropped his
kicker that's
kicker.
not
He
even on a team.
And he didn't pick another one up. He just doesn't have a kicker.
Texans Bengals.
Bungles.
Give me the Bengals. They're rolling, baby. 5
Yeah.
straight.
every single time I've picked the Bengals this year, they've lost. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to take the Bengals in this game.
You scum.
I'm also going to take the Bengals. Titans Bucks.
Bucks.
Wow. Give me the Bucks.
I'll be different. I'll go with the Titans. This
You're
NFL slate is
Will Levis.
terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm going to go Titans as well. I think Will Levis is going to have another big game against that defense that someone just went off against him. Oh,
DJ Stroud.
Someone just went off against him.
It's Will Levis's turn, guys.
Oh, yeah. Now this time next week, Will Levis is insane.
No, I
We're
hope
gonna-
Will
we're
Levis-
gonna be doing the Would You Rather
If
with
they
Will
start the
Levis.
Will Levis versus Anthony Richardson debate, I'm actually going to start crying.
Cue the tears.
Lions Chargers.
Lions.
Lions.
I think the Chargers have a chance
could
to win this game,
I could see it.
but
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
yeah, if the Chargers had a home fan base, then I'd probably pick them, but they don't, so I'll take the Lions.
I'm also going to
They
go
have that one chick.
The industry plant,
the industry.
You are so
that stadium, SoFi, is going to be 80% Lions fans. You're playing arguably the best fan, or like the most loyal fan base in the NFL against like the least loyal fan base.
That's
It's
the
going to be
Steelers.
all blue.
other than the
Well, they're both
Steelers.
blue, Nick.
It's going to be all Lions fans. It's going to be so bad.
Falcons Cardinals.
Who cares?
Dear Lord.
Kyler Murray's back this week.
Who's
Cardinals.
making these schedules? What is wrong with the NFL?
Nah, this is there's one week a year where schedule just sucks, and I think this is that week.
Gosh, I don't
Give
even
me the
get
Cardinals.
crap in this game.
Cardinals.
Evan, what is it? The Falcons and the who?
Cardinals. Kyler Murray's back, so I'm
Give
going.
me the Cardinals because Arthur Smith needs to be gone.
Dude, that's
I'll
your
take
pick-
the
That's your reason
Falcons.
for every time.
Because I'm hoping that as every week goes by, I'm hoping that they lose and they fire him because of it.
That won't happen till the end of the year.
Giants Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowgirls.
Cowboys. Daniel Jones is out for the year. This is going to be another 40-0 beat down.
Ugh. I'm tired of seeing the Cowboys smoke people.
CeeDee Lamb popping off, I hope.
Please. Commanders and Seahawks.
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 Who did you
Seahawks.
say, Joel?
Evan.
Oh, I said Seahawks.
Did you all go Seahawks?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have Seahawks.
All right, screw it. I'll go Commanders. It's always a close game.
This is the game you're choosing to be different on, Evan. Of all the games that I was different on, this is the one.
The Commanders are so no, they're not. The Commanders are such a weird football team.
They really are.
I don't understand why they only play good against the Eagles, and that's it.
All right, now the game that we're going to be waiting for all weekend: Jets Raiders.
I don't want to make a
game
selection.
Sunday
I
night,
don't want to make
baby.
a pick.
Can I say tie?
Yeah.
Tie at 0-0. I'm just kidding. I'm going Jets.
I think I'm going to take the Raiders. I think they're going to play for their interim coach.
I like it.
I think I'm gonna take the Jets because I still think they're playing for Aaron Rodgers to maybe come back, and they need to start winning some football games.
I'm also going to go with the Jets.
Oh my gosh.
But I do agree, Zach. The Raiders are playing more spirited football because of the new coach.
Devontae Adams is actually having fun.
Then
Supposedly,
yeah. Suppose
Yeah.
Go, Nick.
he still doesn't really get the ball a lot.
that's
Yeah.
so stupid. It's so dumb.
Then we got the barn burner on
Nick, you might actually lose the league, man.
Broncos Bills Monday night.
Bills.
The Bills are gonna win.
Bills.
Worst
Bills.
primetime games I've ever seen.
So bad.
Yep.
Hey Weaver, why
Yeah.
did you send me this picture of Yoda?
Why not?
Okay, that's fair enough. I guess.
Weaver,
I should have taken a picture of Zach just there. He was like,
Weaver,
Yeah.
go ahead and show the camera the picture of Yoda that you sent to me.
copy
Is it
your
My
Right.
camera's not working, so I mean, why did you send me that?
And that's a great way to end it, ladies.
Put in the comment section what your thoughts on that picture of Yoda was, and why Weaver has it, and why he sent it to me.
Honestly, can I be totally honest with you two? Or you
Yeah.
three?
Yeah.
That's not even the weirdest one on his camera roll.
Not even close.
Why not?
No chance.
We're not. Those are not. You cannot show those on camera.
Weaver, that picture goes hard.
That. Will,
There are ones that are far
we will get.
more thought provoking
strikes.
than that one. I'll say.
We'll get strikes on those.
Yeah, we'll get some strikes. But yeah, that's gonna about wrap it up for us for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and we see you guys next week for week 11, right?
Yep, week
Yes,
11.
sir.
Week 11.
Where we actually have a competent Thursday night game.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank
We
goodness.
have a good schedule next, or an all right schedule. The primetime
Better.
games are a lot. Eagles Chiefs next Monday night. Oh my lord!
Start with a bang, end with a bang.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys.
See ya.